Yes. So in order to build an empire, sometimes we got to get some insights from people who are actually doing it right now. And this next discussion is really going to be powerful. So please make sure you stick around and enjoy this next conversation. And now introducing to the stage for our next panel discussion, please make some noise and give a huge warm welcome to award-winning journalist Selena Hill.
Hype me up. Hype me up. I hype me up. I got 99 problems, but I got 100 reasons. If it rains, sleet, or snow, I'ma ball air seeds, cause I gotta hype me up. Hype me up. Hype me up. I hype me up. Say I'm a nut. Even when it's tough.
Y'all make some noise.
What's up, Atlanta? What's up? Okay, there we go. Y'all can hear me now? Okay. How y'all feeling? Invest Fest 2025. I feel good. I love audiences and communities like this because we're all about getting a bag. And not only that, but securing legacy and making sure that we are building our communities. So I'm super, super happy and excited to be here with you all. Question. How many part-time entrepreneurs and side hustlers do we have in the building? Raise your hand. Yes, okay. Now, how many full-time business owners and serial entrepreneurs we got in the building? Okay. How many of y'all reached that six-figure mark already? Making six figures. Okay. Anybody reach seven figures? Okay, y'all get into it. I'm not mad. How many people here are on the road to building $1 billion business? Make some noise, raise your hand. Absolutely. Okay, sis. She said, that's why I'm here. She said, that's why I brought a ticket, period. Yes. So y'all are in the right place because this next panel of 3 successful entrepreneurs are going to tell us how they built an empire brick by brick. So the first person I'm going to introduce, y'all know her as an actress, an Emmy award-winning host, entrepreneur, chef, and New York Times best-selling author. Give it up for Tabitha Brown.
You know we smoking on Keisha. Hey, can I meet you?
Cool. Gotta say so. Ride with that.
Yes.
Ride with her. And Keisha smoking on Keisha.
Hey.
Talk for me, they say, how can I meet you?
Give it tab. Give it tab.
Candle.
Yes.
A candle around my neck, girl, I'm catching out.
Yes, Miss Tab is in the building. Next up, we have the founder and CEO of Uncle Nearest, which is the fastest growing American whiskey brand, Fawn Weaver.
Hello.
What's happening? Hey. What the time? Pick your meat. What's up, Bonnie? What's up?
Go Fawn. Yeah. Oh, we having a good time today. Okay. Last up, give it up for Valerie Obaze. She is the founder and CEO of R&R Luxury. That is a naturally sourced skincare line from Ghana. Forbes actually named her the African skincare trailblazer. She's been in Elle, she's been in British Vogue, she's been all over the map. Give it up for Valerie Obaze.
Yep.
Yes.
A little bit, you gotta do a little bit.
Oh, I think they like it. Oh, I think they like it.
I love it, ladies. Go ahead and take a seat. I think y'all are in the middle right here. Yes. Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Oh, we started off good. I'm loving the energy.
Maybe we didn't
Only at Invest Fest.
Hello. Okay.
Only at Invest Fest.
We on.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're going to get down to business.
Yes.
Because these 3 women are doing it. Okay. And like Tab always says, your business.
It is.
It's your business. Okay. Fawn, I want to start with you.
Yes.
In 2016, you
Yes.
took a trip and you discovered that an enslaved African American was actually the first person on record to become a master distiller. His name was Nearest Green.
Yes, indeed.
He mentored Jack Daniel.
Yes.
You discovered that story and it inspired you to launch Uncle Nearest Premium Whiskey
Yes.
in 2017, making you the first African American woman to head a major spirits brand. Less than 10 years later, your brand, Uncle Nearest, became a $1 billion company.
Yes, 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 yes.
My question for you, what are some of the lessons and early hardships that you learned in business that prepared you for the level of success you are at today?
Stay the course. Stay the course. Do not get distracted. No matter the noise, no matter the challenges, stay the course. A lot of people get so bogged down on whatever challenges are in front of you. And if you are an entrepreneur, if you are doing something extraordinary, rest assured at some point you are going to come against a hurdle that seems insurmountable to everyone else. I am currently at my 20th hurdle that seems insurmountable to anybody else. And so as long as you are expecting the hurdles, and entrepreneurs, listen, we are not going to be Sha'Carri. We are not going to be able to run with no hurdles. We are all going to be Sydney Lockley. You have to know the hurdles are going to be there, and your focus is the rhythm and the timing between the jumps. If you focus on the hurdle itself, you will fall.
That's a bar right there. Give it up. That's a bar right there. Miss Tab, you've captivated the world with your soothing voice, Southern charm, vegan recipes, and positivity. Now, your career also took off 2017 when you were an Uber driver and you did a video that virtually turned you into an overnight social media sensation. Since then, and then that led you to become an ambassador for Whole Foods. So my question for you was, what was your sign to launch a business? Because you were an inspiring actress and you took that newfound fame and audience and started building businesses. What was that sign that said that's what you should be doing?
Well, you know, I didn't realize how social media could really benefit me, right? As an actress, you're told for so long in Hollywood, don't get on social media, they don't take you serious. And so I really believed that for a very long time. But what did it for me was when I did start doing content, I would read the comments, right? And so I used to cook live every day at 5 o'clock on Facebook. And I didn't never watch back the videos. But I was in the gym one day and I was watching or reading the comments and everybody kept commenting, because that's your business, because that's your business. I was like, why they keep commenting that? So I was like, let me go rewatch this live that I did to see what they talking about. Maybe I missed something. Baby, I didn't know that I said it all the time. Okay?
It's your phrase.
Baby, I said, I say that right much, Lord, okay? And so people were like, Tab, put that on a T-shirt. And I was like, put it on a T-shirt? Do people really buy T-shirts? But I was like, okay, I'm listening to, the people. So I go downtown, Los Angeles. I had 100 T-shirts. So I had to use my own money. So I bought 100 T-shirts, found a printer, got them printed, set them up on my Etsy shop, because I used to sell clothes on Etsy. And so I came back home and I loaded them and I went to the grocery store. When I came back, I was like, Lord, I must have did something wrong because I didn't see them on my Etsy shop anymore. And I was like, right. I said, now I done did something wrong, okay? So when I go in there to realize, I said, oh Lord, I done sold out in 26 minutes.
26 minutes?
Right. But this is the thing. It was only 100 shirts. That's all I had. But when you go and you look in your data, it shows you how many people tried to buy. Over 3,000 people tried to buy. And in that moment, I said, oh, this is a business, honey. People like T-shirts, Jesus.
Yeah.
And so that's how I started business. My first real business was selling T-shirts. And so I went on to then start doing pre-orders and did it for, I still sell t-shirts now, but my biggest, I think that was 2018 when I first did that. And that year I probably made like $200,000 in t-shirt sales. And then the next year, double that. But in 2020, I made over $150,000 in a day selling t-shirts.
Oh, and I know that's right.
Yeah.
Clock it, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you for that.
Absolutely.
So Valerie, you began your career in PR. You also worked in the beauty and fashion space. What challenges did you encounter early on when it came to manufacturing a product? Matter of fact, anybody got a product here? Anybody have products, selling products? Okay, so we have folks here that are manufacturing products. What are some of those challenges?
Like Fawn said, as an entrepreneur, you're going to face challenge after challenge after challenge. And for me, building a brand in Africa, so my PR and beauty fashion background was in London. I grew up in London, but I'm Ghanaian. And I just moved back to the continent. I'm looking for natural skincare to use on my newborn baby's skin. Yes, we have the best raw materials. We have the best ingredients. Everybody's familiar with shea butter and all of the things that come out of the continent, but we were not making our own products. I would have had to buy an imported brand to put on my baby's skin. How does that make sense when they're using our raw materials? So I just set about to start making my own products. And from that, using it on my baby's skin and using it on my family's skin, I started saying, if you like it, try it, come back and buy. But then I didn't realize that there was no contract manufacturing. There was no factory that was going to produce for me. It didn't exist at all. Beauty manufacturing was not a thing in 2010. I started this business 15 years ago. So we had to create our own factory. We had to build our own literally from the ground. So from my kitchen to my mother-in-law's garage to building our own purpose-built factory and also producing our own raw materials. It's been a journey, and it's been a 15-year journey, and we just get to each bit by bit, and we build as we come along. But I think the landscape is a bit different here. If you want to create a brand, you can go and meet with several formulators, several co-packers, and see who fits with your ethos, who uses the same kind of ingredients, who believes in the same kind of things you believe in, and you can find a good partnership. Where I was, there was nothing like that. Things have changed a bit now. So we've come to a space where we own our entire supply chain. Of course, you can't get there in a day. You can't get there in a month or a year. It's taken us over a decade, but I think that there's persistence in that, and it just means you move a lot slower, but you get a lot further in the end. So that is the big challenge for me, and I think that anyone's in the product business, start with partnerships, but see where you can build your own, because ownership is everything.
Yes.
I just want to make sure y'all heard that last part that she said. She said, start with partnerships and then build your own, which is definitely the model that I have used. Like in partnerships, you use their money and then put it into your own business.
Yeah. That's a very good gem. Key right there. Fawn, when you were speaking, you said 20 hurdles. You just talked about the struggle. You talked about the challenge. And anybody who's followed you on social media, we know you've been very vocal about the $108 million lawsuit that's been filed against Uncle Nearest from Farm Credit Mid-America last month for allegedly unpaid loans and lines of credit. Your company is also under a receivership. That's something Pinky Cole talked about yesterday at VIP night. I know you're under a gag order, but can you talk about how this has affected your company and what this means for the future of Uncle Nearest?
How it's affected my company is we are having the best sales we have ever had in the history of my company. So let me be super, super clear about something. Hold on. Because you asked me a question. Y'all know I'm the people CEO. I'm going to give it to you straight up, no chaser. Here's the thing. Gag order. Yes. So I won't talk about anything there. All I'll say is keep following the case, not the headlines, and you will find a different story beneath the headlines. But the reason why our company is in the middle of having its biggest jump, I told my team this. This is our Taylor moment. 2009. Taylor Swift was a country artist singing a song called I'm in Love with Tim McGraw. She was cute, like every other young country artist. Then Kanye took her mic, publicly embarrassed her, and that catapulted her to a level of success that no one can touch, no one can track. So if you want to ask me what is going on right now that I can say off the gag order, this is our Taylor moment.
Period. And put that on, period. And a fun.
And let me be really clear. A bank having loaned you $100 million is successful people problems.
That part.
That means that we're surrounded by successful people who work behind the scenes strategically. So what looks like failures externally are very smart negotiations internally, and I'll leave it at that.
Amazing. And my follow-up to you, Fawn, is, again, outside public perception is very important. We see the negative headlines. You even said there were some hit pieces. That doesn't affect your ability to do business? People don't become a little uncertain?
Not at all. First of all, I haven't seen any of the hit pieces. I just heard they exist. I don't pay attention. That stuff doesn't come up on my timeline. You would have to tell me what negative thing has been said about me or my company. I don't pay any attention to it. Let me tell you what I pay attention to. The sales going up. We have to get to a place where the challenge is not what we're focused on. Expect the challenges. Expect the challenges. They started with partners and built the supply chain. I built the supply chain first. The reason I did that is I knew that I was in an industry in which I was doing something that no Black woman had ever done before, no person of color. I was coming into a space in which I would not necessarily be welcome, but I was going to come in like a wrecking ball. So I had to be prepared that if the supply chains tried to choke me out, I had my own. So now we go back to why there's a $100 million loan to begin with. It was a significant risk, but my level of success is based on my level of risk. And if you ask me to do it all over again, would I build a $60 million distillery that currently today you can't even walk around because there are so many people and so many sold out tours every 15 minutes happening right now while I sit on this stage? No one out here would know who Uncle Nearest was if I built this the way that everybody else built it. That's why there's a 99% failure rate. I'm in that 1%. And I'm beating those who are in the top 10% of that 1%. So just, this is what I will say. You will hit massive challenges if you risk big. And so you have to determine how big you want your success to be. If you want your success to be multi-billion-dollar company, a multi-billion-dollar spirit conglomerate, then you can't play it safe. If you don't play it safe, that means at some point you will run into a challenge that seems insurmountable to everyone else. Let me tell you what I have not done in this moment. Blinked.
Period. Clock it. Thank you, Miss Fawn.
We're going to sit around the collection plate.
What'd you say?
Collection
pass the plate, please. Drop the mic.
Or you could just clear the shelves.
Yeah. Or clear the shelves. Buy some Uncle Nearest. Valerie, I want to throw it to you because every entrepreneur that doesn't play it small, like Fawn said, will run into major challenges. How do you turn a major PR crisis into an opportunity, which you have done brilliantly, but as a former publicist, how would you advise everyone here to do that in the era of cancel culture?
We follow the Fawn Weaver model. That's what we do. You turn a negative into a positive. You speak the truth. There's no point in trying to bury things, hide things. What you do is face the public and tell them what's happening, and you deal with it. Simple. And people prefer transparency. They prefer the truth. They don't want to be lied to. So at the end of the day, if you have a challenge, you face it head on and you ask the people that follow you, ask the people that are your customers to come on board with you and deal with it, help you get through it. And that's clearing the shelves. That's showing your support. That is going in and speaking to your people before it's too late. Recently, we've seen businesses shutter and we didn't have any warning. We're just shocked. Like, what happened? How could we have helped? And now we're trying to help and it's too late. Speak to the people before and see how you can bring your public and the people that have supported you all along on board. And I think that's the best way to deal with things, because otherwise someone else will bring it out to the forefront for you and then you're behind trying to catch up.
Be open and transparent, because we're all humans. We all make mistakes. And people learn from that, and it makes you more relatable. So thank you both for sharing that.
And like you said, some of the things are not actually mistakes. Some of them are hit pieces.
That part.
People see you growing and want to stifle it. They don't know why it should be you or me. Why her and not me? How do we put a stop to this? How do we get in the way of this? And you don't want to focus on the haters. That's not what you're trying to do. But things will happen, and you just have to deal with them head on.
Gotcha. Ms. Tab, speaking of criticism and public backlash, you had your share of that earlier this year as well when Target rolled back their DEI initiatives. One of your initial videos, you talked about it, and you told Black consumers, be mindful because Black businesses will be affected negatively. However, a lot of people took that and said, why is Tab talking to us, the shoppers, the consumers? Why doesn't she put that energy towards Target and put that pressure on them to bring back the DEI? Then we wouldn't have this problem. How have you dealt with that moment? And has it affected your bottom line? Because you also have a line of products, kitchenware, you have Donna's Recipe, you sell a lot of different products in Target.
So it has affected like the business of Target, right? But I think the first and foremost thing is a lot of people didn't watch my full video. A lot of people watched the video that was edited down and shared to go viral, right? So people just assumed, crazy enough, that I was with Target. And I was like, y'all ain't watched my video, honey. Because if you go back right now on my page from that day, find one video and I'll wait where I sent anybody to go to Target. I'd have had many collections drop and you don't know about it, right? Because I'm still under contract. And I've been working with them on these collections that dropped this year for the last 2 years. So that stuff still has to roll out. But I have not pushed anyone to go to Target. But what I said and what is still true is so I'm in Target 2 different ways. One, I have a licensing deal, which is what you talked about earlier. Be in partnership, then use that money and start your own businesses, right? So I have a licensing deal, which ends this year. My contract ends this year. That means all those products that I created and designed, I did that for Target. That's Tabitha Brown in partnership with Target. Donna's Recipe is a hair care line that I own with my business partner. We own it 100%. That is a retail brand, right? That's a different deal where we occupy the shelf space. So both of those, you can't just walk in and pull those off the shelf. It does not work that way. Although people thought it was, there's even been people who are very much high profile saying they can just go in there and take that stuff off them shelves. No, you can't. You can't do that. So what I was trying to do is explain to people, listen, we're going to need some time. I even said in that first video, I said, honey, I don't know what we're going to do. I got to the end of the year on this contract. But in the meantime, y'all be mindful that a lot of these Black-owned businesses, this is their first time, because they did this right before Black History Month. It was all so terrible in every shape or form. But I know that I have multiple businesses. Many of them do not. It's their only one. And so I know how much money and how long it takes to get on those shelves. And it's not just, okay, this one person has a business. Let's just say for me, I have multiple small businesses, but if I by myself pay over 7 figures in salaries a year, other people do that as well. That means we're taking care of communities, we're taking care of families. They can't just go in there and be like, okay, y'all roll back DEI just like everybody else has rolled back. We want our stuff off the shelves. We can't do that and still live. We'll destroy communities at the same time. So my only thing was trying to explain to people, please support them directly. And some people are like, I'm not going to boycott. Okay, if you're not, fine. If you go in there, please buy black. That is what I was saying. But people took it and they ran with it.
Did you have to pivot at all during that time?
Girl, absolutely. And I pivots all the time, okay?
About the pivot?
So, I mean, the great thing is, like, even with Donna's Recipe, we are in every store at Ulta Beauty. So we push people even more into, let them know Ulta's a great partner.
It is. I use Donna's Recipe
Come on,
too,
and
okay?
Harris too.
I love it, so go ahead.
Come on. Yes. So we did that, and we just kind of like push marketing even more that way, but also direct to our website, because every person who owns a business, you better believe that they already sell D2C. There was a very big misconception out there that all these Black-owned businesses were not selling D2C. I'm like, we don't even start a business without selling D2C, right? Like, if you're a small business, you're going to sell direct to your consumer first. So we did that. We upped that marketing as well. But I also launched another company with my husband, which is my fragrance company, Tab and Chance. Yes. Okay, very good.
Woo, give it up.
Her business. And what I did was look for new partnerships. So I started selling on HSN. And so as I, went there, we sold out in the first, hour of being on the show. So you pivot all the time and you just create different marketing structures.
That's it. It's all about the pivot and being flexible. A question I have for all of you ladies is, what are some of the challenges when it comes to getting access to capital to start a business and to scale a business? Have you had challenges funding?
So I'll take that. Because I raised about $225 million taking no VC and no PE.
One more time, how much did you raise?
225. So what I knew was how to raise money from individual high net worth investors. The piece I didn't know was the debt piece of it. Let me tell you, I'm now at Harvard getting my master's in finance. Let me tell you what I will know how to do on the other side of this.
That's right.
Is watch the Watchmen, but that's maybe too close to the case. We're going to leave that alone. But here's the thing. When I am looking at raising capital, this is what people don't understand, is America has more than 20 million millionaires. 20 million, a little less than 24 million millionaires. You are bumping into them at Starbucks. People are looking for all of these big money, these big names, and they keep getting turned down and they become discouraged. But the reality is you could bump into somebody on the way out of here and have no idea that either they or they have the direct connection to put you with the person to fund your business. So we have to stop looking at hierarchy. The janitor may have been saving for the last 30 years and looking for that one great investment, and that investment could be you. I never looked at anybody as not being able to either be the plug or be the investor, no matter where they seem to be on the totem pole. So I can tell you on my cap table, if you look within the SPVs, I easily have about 200 high net worth investors on my cap table. I don't just look at them as capital partners. I didn't take everybody's money. I turned down a lot of money. I took the money of the people who I knew would go to restaurants, bars, hotels, ask for the general manager, show them the bill that they were paying and say, if the next time I come, Uncle Nearest isn't here, you will not see another check from me like this. Don't just look for capital partners. Look for those that are going to help you build your business. I have one of the biggest sales forces in the market, not because I'm paying people, but those are the people who paid me. So just know that every person, you only have to find one really great investor, just one. Doesn't need to be a group, one, because every high net worth investor runs in packs. If they get excited about you, they'll tell another one, they'll tell another one, they'll tell another one, and you will raise the money. So here's my thing, and I know there's some VC and PE people in here. I'm not a big fan of VC and PE for our businesses, and let me tell you why. If the very situation I was in, I did not have control of my company, and a VC or a PE were in this very difficult time, they would have tried to take me out and to replace me. They didn't have that as an option. So building a cap table that allows you to make mistakes, figure out the stakes, break stuff, because when we're doing something, if we're going into an industry and doing something disruptive or doing something that's never been done before, we got to be really, really careful that the people on our cap table either one, support us, or number two, even if they don't have no control of us.
And Fawn, really quickly, you mentioned something. You said you didn't take everyone's money. How much money have you turned down, and why did you have to do that?
I've turned down hundreds of millions because I didn't take any PE or VC. Okay. And when I look at the situation, we'll be on the other side of this situation very quickly. Very quickly. Well, I can't touch it, but we'll be on the other side of it quickly. But if I had people on my cap table that I had to go back and forth about whether or not the decisions I was making was right, whether or not you're not running this business, you're not in this industry, you're not doing something that no one has ever done before, I appreciate what you have to say. I'll put it right here.
There you go. And that's how you do it. Valerie, can you talk about your starting funding? Did you save up from the companies you were working for? Like, how did you start your business?
Oh, I started with a dime. I think I was misunderstood earlier. I did not have financial partners to begin with. I started in my kitchen. I bought the raw materials in small quantities. I went straight to the source because I was at the source. I was able to go straight to the source and buy 25 liters of shea oil. I bought a box of shea butter. I went online and bought packaging. I started using the products on myself. I started giving it to my friends and family. And that's how we grew. I didn't have funding. I told you we're in year 15. I took debt funding in about year 9 from a bank. And trust me, in Ghana, you don't have that many options. Interest rates are high. But there was a good program at the time which was brought in by the government called One District, One Factory. And they wanted to put a factory in every single district in the country to ensure that people had livelihoods, to create a manufacturing hub of Ghana, and so that people would be able to have, be able to afford their livelihoods, look after their children, send them to school, and, take care of the next generation. I was able to take advantage of one of those facilities that was being offered at the time. And we've gone through that, we paid that off, and we had our first VC injection last year, so that's year 14. And again, it's through friendship that came through. We received VC funding from Fearless Fund through Ariane Simone, and I met her.
Give it up.
I know she was here last year speaking on the panel, and I met her in Ghana. She was brought to Ghana by my good friend Michael Jabba, who I've grown up with, and he brought her to meet me. She liked what we were doing, and it was a conversation, and in a day, we made a deal, and I've met so many amazing people, and through that connection is why I'm probably on this panel today. And I believe that you can grow. You don't always need to have outside funding. You can scale at a pace that works for you. Sometimes taking money too early will be the death of your business. And I realized 2025, I'm seeing firsthand experience of businesses struggling because of the types of funding that they've taken. People buying their businesses back, people, dealing with stuff that they did not intend to deal with. And all you want to do as an owner and an entrepreneur is focus on growing your business. You don't want to be dealing with the voices and the, the naysayers and the, where's my money? We're trying to build here. So, and also people putting unnecessary pressure on you to grow too fast. Thankfully, I had the right partners at the right time. And for me, it's about building legacy and heritage. I'm not trying to run anyone else's race. I'm trying to build a brand that will outlive me and outlive the next generation and so on and so forth. And I want to be the first African legacy beauty brand. It didn't exist before, and I have every intention of staying the course. So,
amazing. I know we have a few minutes left, but I'm glad you mentioned that, Valerie, about building legacy. Yeah. I heard both you and Fawn say that you are building legacy brands. Want to get your take on that too, Tabitha, because you have the option to exit. Some people build companies just so that they can exit and then start something new. Why have you decided to not sell and get a big check, but instead to keep doing the work and maintain a legacy?
I think that I want us to be clear, there's nothing wrong with selling your business.
Yes.
Right. Okay, right? I mean, you get in the business to sell business sometimes. That is clear, baby. If the check be right, Lord.
Right. Sometimes you got to take that check.
My God, today.
I know that's right.
Honey, y'all be like, y'all remember when Tab had that business? Yeah. Because that also is legacy.
That's legacy too.
Right? So, I want to build a brand that is worthy of a bidding war. Right? I want people to be fighting for the business if I sell it. Right? And that's also part of the legacy. But I think the building process is the legacy. What you do in the journey is the legacy. So with both of my businesses that we have now, the hair care brand Donna's Recipe that I have with Gina Woods, we are woman-owned and we're self-funded, right? And we have no debt. That's legacy.
That's legacy right there.
We are mothers, we are wives, right? We're entrepreneurs. And then my Fridays with Tab and Chance, my fragrance company, I built that. We are self-funded, and it's just me and my husband. Right? With no debt. Right? So we do it that way to build. Now, there may come a time where we may need to raise, but right now, honey, I hope we can keep building it and then let them come and say, hey, girl, this is nice. We would like to offer you a couple $100 million or so, And then I'll be like, well, y'all, I see y'all at the next Invest Fest. I'm going to talk to y'all about how to sell a business, okay? But that is legacy. That is legacy to me.
I think it really depends, and I agree with Tab. If you come into something to build to sell, there is nothing wrong with that, and we got to be really great about celebrating the ones who that is what they choose to do. For me, I was very clear coming into this. There has never been a spirit conglomerate that was not built by a white male. Ever. There's 6 spirit conglomerates that run 90% of the volume of alcohol in America. I knew very early on I was going to build the 7th. But that meant I wasn't going to sell. So who I would be selling to, if all the spirit conglomerates are all white males, and I intend to keep this black owned, there's no one to sell to. So I understood that I had to become the acquirer versus being acquired. The challenge that people are seeing right now, if I decided tomorrow to sell Uncle Nearest for $1 billion, don't get it twisted, it would sell. That 100 would get paid off, that other 900 million would clear. I'm not interested in that. I'm here to build what I set out to build, and no matter what challenge I come across, I am unmoved, I am unshaken. I know what I'm here to do, and selling is not one of those things.
Valerie, if you can expand on when you launched your business, did you have that same mindset where you said, I want to create legacy no matter how big a check might be?
No. For me, do you know what? It wages an internal battle in me every day. When I think about scaling the business and what is required, you need funding. So you go out there, seek funding, but you know that if you're bringing VC money or PE money, they're going to chase the next investment. But at the same time, I do have that dream. So it is an internal battle. I've always said I'm open to M&A, to mergers and acquisitions. Whatever it is, I'm open. The right offer hasn't come along yet, so I can't honestly say what I would actually do. But it doesn't mean that the legacy doesn't continue just because I'm out of the picture. I don't know if my kids are going to want to take over. I don't know if an employee is going to want to take over. Somebody will, because the business will be that big that it will be, you know, very desirable. But I don't know where that legacy is going. But I do intend to create a legacy brand. Whoever owns it remains to be seen, but we'll see. I'm open.
Okay. So in less than 30 seconds, I want to get you guys' last take. Fawn, I heard you say that entrepreneurship will give you 100 reasons to quit a day. If each and every one of you can tell me, why haven't you quit? And what has been your source of strength and hope during the darkest times? Starting with you.
I'm still alive.
Yeah.
I can't quit until the Lord calls me home.
Yeah.
If I'm alive, that means I still have work to do. So quitting is not an option.
Yeah.
It's just not an option.
Not an option.
It doesn't cross my mind. Quitting never crosses my mind, but I also know I'm exactly where I am supposed to be. So any person who has watches me on social media, y'all know that I have a prayer that I pray, that I prayed before I met my phenomenal husband of 22 years this year.
Come on.
He's here somewhere in the crowd, Mr. Keith Weaver, my co-founder. But my prayer is very simple. Lord, if this is for me, open the door in a manner that no man can close, including myself.
Amen.
Because self-sabotage is real, y'all.
It's real.
This whole notion of fear of failure, I know you said 30 seconds. Can I have just an add-on 1 30-second? I'm going to tell you why. Because y'all will need this. This notion of fear of failure. How many people believe that exists?
Of course.
It doesn't exist. Let me prove it to you. If any of you all failed and no one knew about it, would you care?
No.
I wouldn't.
Then that means that's not your fear. Fear of failure doesn't exist. What exists is fear of public embarrassment. So if you can get over a fear of public embarrassment and walk through the fire like I am and be unbothered by it, you can get to the other side without ever having even thought about quitting. So mentally get over a fear of embarrassment and you're good.
Valerie, 10 seconds. Why haven't you quit? What's your source of strength?
Because I know what my purpose is. God put me on this earth for this particular season and this reason, and I'm not going to quit. So don't chase somebody else's dream. Chase your own, and you're not going to quit.
Guys, give it up one more time. Tabitha Brown, Fawn Weaver, and Valerie Obaze.